Hello and welcome. I'm Vincent Makori, and this is Africa 54 to Addis Ababa. The Intergovernmental Authority on Development today urged the South Sudanese government to expedite the legal process and release the remaining detainees arrested when the country erupted into violence last month. Addressing journalists after meeting envoys from the United States, Britain and China on the sidelines of the ongoing Africa Union summit in Addis Ababa, the leader said the release of the detainees would likely advance the peace process during the political dialogue and national reconciliation. Kenyan President Uhuru Kenyatta, who is also the chairperson of the 8-member IGAD group, asked both parties to comply to recently signed agreements. U.S. Special Envoy to South Sudan, Donald Booth, warned of serious consequences for anyone who attempts to spoil the peace process.
We welcome the decision of the African Union to form a commission of inquiry to look into the numerous reports of serious violations of human rights, with the aim of providing justice, accountability, and reconciliation for the people of South Sudan via a credible and transparent process. Those who might seek to undermine the peace process should know that we are all watching and that there will be consequences for such would-be spoilers.
For the latest on the African Union Summit, VOA East Africa correspondent Gabe Joselow joins us on the phone from Addis Ababa. Hello, Gabe.
Hi, Vincent.
Now we know that the meeting is just wrapping up. Can you update us on what has been said, particularly regarding the two conflicts, CAR and South Sudan?
Well, a lot of the developments on the two conflicts there have taken place on the sidelines. The IGAD meeting earlier today, IGAD envoys called for monitors to be sent to South Sudan soon to verify the terms of a ceasefire deal that aims to bring end to the fighting there. And we're going to have more news on Central African Republic mostly tomorrow when we get a donors conference where they'll be trying to raise funds for the African-backed peacekeeping effort there. In terms of security issues, though, one big topic that was discussed here is how to more quickly enact the standby rapid deployment force in Africa that can respond to future crises to stop these kind of conflicts from happening in the first place.
Now, it looks like there is a consensus that all the remaining detainees should be released, at least as far as IGAD is concerned. What are you hearing from the South Sudanese side?
Yes, it seems that you're right. There is consensus from all sides that the remaining four should be released. South Sudan seems to have loosened its stance a bit on that. For a while, they were really resisting any calls for those people to be released without they're facing going through the criminal justice system first. Today, we heard the vice president from South Sudan say that the remaining four, there's no evidence against them yet, but once investigations are through, they'll be able to release them on bail, essentially, as they've done with the other 7 detainees.
Now, in terms of the deployment of the peacekeepers, there were issues about some countries not being comfortable either being part of it, or some South Sudanese not being comfortable about, say, Uganda being part of the peacekeeping mission. What is being said?
Yeah, Uganda is still a major sticking point. Ugandan forces went into South Sudan at the invitation of the government there to help quell the violence. But now that they've stayed a little bit longer, there's concerns from some of South Sudan's neighbors about their continued presence and what they might be up to. So Uganda is saying so far that they're not really going to withdraw from their position. Of course, they already had a small presence in the country before this conflict, so that's something that still needs to be worked out. It's still a bit of a sticking point.
Okay, so there is going to be further conversation on the CAR, you said?
Yes, on the CAR, we'll have an update tomorrow. There will be a conference of donors which come from the international community who are going to make pledges to support the African-backed peacekeeping force that's trying to quell the violence there. And there may also be an announcement or review of some of the humanitarian pledges that have come in from the international community as well.
Well, Gabe, thanks a lot. That's VOA's Gabe Joselow reporting live from Addis Ababa.